We start in the historic city of Andong here in South Korea, where President Lee Jae Myung is playing host to his Japanese counterpart Sanae Takaichi as they seek to maintain the momentum of friendship as well as partnership. For more, I have my colleague Moon Hye-ryeon standing by live at the site of this latest summit. Hye-ryeon, welcome. Do start us off.
Good afternoon, Sunny. So I'm standing very close to the summit venue where the joint press briefing between President Lee and Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi just wrapped up following a series of talks on this Tuesday afternoon. So ahead of the talks, analysts predicted that, there would be no single headline agenda topic, and this would be more about sustaining the momentum that the two sides had already begun to build. And that set the tone for this afternoon, which began with President Lee warmly welcoming Prime Minister Takaichi amid fanfare and traditionally dressed honor guards by thanking her for coming all the way to Andong. Talks this afternoon covered a broad range of issues, from economic cooperation and protection of overseas citizens amid geopolitical uncertainty such as the Middle East conflict.
튼튼한 양국 간의 협력과 더불어 국제 정세의 어려움을 함께 헤쳐나가는 모습을 통해 양국이 서로에게 얼마나 중요한 협력 파트너인지 실감하고 있습니다.
During the expanded meeting, President Lee went on to express his hopes that the summit will serve as another step forward in taking bilateral ties even further through practical and forward-looking forms of cooperation, while Prime Minister Takaichi also agreed on the need to advance relations to maintain stability in the region.
Right, stability, of course. Hye-ryeon, what's on the agenda for the rest of this evening?
So the rest of the evening will actually give way to a much more personal program, with much of the focus centered on cuisine and culture that's local to the city here of Andong. And that's because this city is the hometown of President Lee, and Prime Minister Takaichi herself mentioned how meaningful this was to her during the expanded summit today.
President Lee visited my home prefecture of Nara in January, so I'm very glad to be able to conduct shuttle diplomacy at his hometown of Andong here this time.
So for dinner, Prime Minister Takaichi will be hosted at a banquet where the menu will feature Andong Jimdak, a braised chicken dish native to the city, paired with traditional Andong liquor and sake from Nara. The two leaders will then head to Hae Folk Village, a UNESCO World Heritage Site renowned for its centuries-old traditional houses, to watch a performance of pansori, a traditional Korean narrative opera. President Lee has also prepared a set of gifts for Prime Minister Takaichi rooted in Andong's cultural heritage, each chosen to symbolize the history and friendship between the two countries. And that's all I have for now, but I'll be back in a later newscast with more developments as the day continues. Back to you, Sunny.
All right, Hye-ryeon, thank you for that coverage of the latest summit between the leaders of South Korea and Japan in the historic town of Andong.